Right then, so you've finally taken the plunge and purchased yourself a Fulcrum. Now, the Fulcrum and the Fulcrum.85, I've got an 85 here, they are identical in their layout and their setup. The 85 is purely an 85% scaled down version of the full size kite. Their assembly and disassembly are exactly the same. Both kites come in a printed black sleeve like this with a roll top, and inside our sleeve we will have a long compartment at the front for our kite and a shorter compartment at the back which will contain our instructions and our 4 standoffs. Now the 4 standoffs consist of a pair of 3mm glass standoffs for the centre spar and a pair of 4mm carbon standoffs for the outer spar. Now, none of us like to read instructions, do we? But I assure you, these are excellent. Fulcrum comes with a full set of instructions that gives you a full exploded diagram of the kite and a bill of material of all your parts included. Inside, you'll have full assembly instructions, which are again very, very clear. And on the back, you will have your leader set up for your initial flight and your handle set up. So again, I know we don't like reading instructions, but take your time to read these because they are fantastic. They're very, very good. And in your sail side, in your kite side, you'll have your kite, like so. And if you've purchased it at the time, you'll have your ultralight centre spar set, which will be in with the kite. Now, this replaces your 3-piece centre spar for lighter wind conditions. We'll have a look at that later. But for the minute, let's assemble the kite, shall we? You're at the flying field. Let's set it up for the first time. Your Fulcrum, when you receive it, will be wrapped up like this. I'm going to take that out. And we've got our 2 outer 5PT spars we're going to take out. We're going to unroll our kite. And we're going to lay it down face down. Now, the centre spar I leave underneath the kite. I say face down, that's so the Fulcrum print is facing the ground. We want to be setting our kite up so that we are having the wind travel over the kite over its length. So as long as you are at the leading edge of that wind, so the wind in my case will be coming from my left to my right, that any wind that catches the kite downwind is not going to cause any damage. So we're going to take our tapered spar with the ferrule end and into our T from the back, so that the ferrule end comes out the front of the kite. Now this kite's brand new, so these are incredibly tight. They do loosen up over time, but that's perfectly normal. So now you've got the ferruled end facing out the front of the kite and the long tapered end out the rear of the kite. Hold that at the end and make sure that is pushed fully home into the APA connector. You'll also see that the 2 standoff connectors are facing one another. You can do exactly the same on the other end. So we've got our ferruled end into our T. And we've got our ferruled end coming out the front of the kite and our end spar coming out the rear of the kite. Again, hold firmly at the end into our APA connector and push that fully home. We must make sure these are fully inserted, otherwise you can risk snapping that off. And once again, our standoff connectors are facing one another. Okay, now we're going to turn our kite over. So we've got the Fulcrum logo facing up, and you'll see that your centre spar is attached to your bridle in the middle. like so. Make sure that your bridle's not tangled. It's very clear to see. It's on a pair of lark's head knots, and you've got a pair coming off to the upper attachment points and a pair coming off to the lower attachment points. It's very, very clear to see if it's tangled up, and very easy to sort out if it is. So we're going to attach our centre spar onto our two ferrules and make sure that our bridle's clear. We must make sure our bridle's clear at this point, otherwise we're going to have to disassemble the kite to get that tangled out. So now our kite is pretty much assembled. We can put our standoffs in. We've got our two centre 3mm glass standoffs, and make sure these go into the sail side first. Always sail side first, so we don't want to risk puncturing the sail if we do it the other way. And we pull the centre spar out and pop those two standoffs in, and they're going to look like that. We're going to flip our kite over and do exactly the same with the pair of 4mm carbon outer standoffs. Again, these are going to go into our upright first on the sail side. Pull your spar out and clip that in. Same again, flip our kite over. And again, same on the other end, into the sail side and into your spar. And that is your Fulcrum fully assembled, ready for its first flight. Check again, once again, that the bridle's clear, which it is. Now you're ready for your first flight.